This is going to be part two of my dating related type of videos. I don't plan on making this a dating channel or anything like that where I talk about dating consistently or frequently, but there's just some things I want to get off my chest. And in this one, I'm talking about how I'm 22 and I've pretty much given up on dating. Now, I know there's tons of videos out there like this of guys saying they've given up on dating because they're just not successful. And yeah, that's part of my story, but I don't think it's the main reason really at all. Like, it's a big reason, but it's not the biggest reason. If you watch my previous video in this series where I talked about being part of the red pill and I didn't really have much experience with girls, that's kind of what I'm going to explain here, but a little more in detail. So I'd say around high school is where I really started to be more active. Like that summer, for me, is about summer 2017. I started to put myself out there and do things, and I would have some, I'd have fun here and there. It's not like I was having a bunch of sex, but I would just see some girls here and there if I could. Not many, but one or two. I was just playing the game, but as much as a 14-year-old who doesn't know shit about girls could play the game. And now, fast forward to when I'm in high school, this was probably the worst point because I wasn't getting anywhere. Like I'd probably like one girl and I wouldn't talk to her. It would just be in my mind forever. Then someone else gets her, and that was the story for ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. For me, didn't really exist at all. So my high school experience is there was none. And I know that really stunted my development when it comes to dating because that is the point where you should be having fun, having your little high school relationships and getting your teenage love and all that shit. That is the time you should be doing that. So when you're an adult, you'll actually have some sort of background, some kind of resume. So you're just not going into it clueless like I was. Now, the reason I wasn't successful is because I was a nervous kid, social anxiety, and reason for that is because everybody's watching you. Like you're not going to talk to a girl anywhere in high school without somebody having your eyes on you, whether it be your friends, people who hate you, her friends, or someone in the hallway that's going to remember your face, and you got to see these people every day, 5 days a week until it's summer. Then you go back to school, and it's probably going to happen all over again. I want to fast forward to outside high school, 2021, 18, never been on a date at all, but met someone, knew someone, and all that. And eventually, I get one, and that wasn't really great. It wasn't the person. It's not somebody I would typically go for, but I wouldn't really know who I'd go for. So it was just meaningless. And after that was over, even though nothing really happened in that situation, I tried again the next year. It was basically the same thing. In 2022, I tried putting myself out there more, but it just wasn't going anywhere. I was still not knowing what I was doing. Now, 2023, I do get a small relationship for some time, and I will say it's a good experience. I wish it would have lasted longer, but it just couldn't for certain reasons, and that's really the most experience I have with somebody. When that ended, it was a punch to the gut. I wasn't really heartbroken because it was kind of on and off after that, but it just kind of is what it is, and eventually it completely ended. So where do I go after that, which is about 2024 to the present? Well, it's the same thing. I try to find someone who was my type, had all the qualities I wanted, and see if we can make it work. And I simply just couldn't do that. So then eventually I come to a point where it's like I give up. That's a summary of really my dating experience. Now I want to get into the part of why I probably won't be able to be in a relationship for any time in the future. That's because I don't really value companionship like a lot of people do. Growing up, I was like everybody else, thinking that I'm going to meet a girl at some point, we're going to get married, have a bunch of kids, and all that shit. But really, once I actually had the relationship, it's like this isn't really everything it's meant that people say it's going to be. It's just like, oh, I got it. So now what? There isn't really much I get out of it other than just like a physical feeling, maybe someone to support you, and that's it. Like it does benefit women more than it benefits men. And as somebody who is very like to be kind of isolated, for me, is just not something I need to make me happy. And I know there's a lot of people that just aren't going to relate to that, or they're going to think, well, you just need the right person to come along. Like I said, that has happened. Like, I'm not some guy that's never been with a woman at any point in my life, but it just doesn't do to me what it does to everybody else. And for me, like, a lot of it is because this idea of being a relationship has really been some kind of fantasy. Like, you watch the movies and you see people in love and you think that's how it's going to be, but once you get in it, it just doesn't feel like that. But some people, they do feel that, but for me, it just doesn't. It doesn't feel any kind of void. In fact, it just makes the void even worse because like now I know this doesn't work. Like, I got the thing that everybody's telling me I should get. It's like one of the first things people want to know about you is, do you have a girlfriend? It's like, no, but if I do, it's like, if I say no, it's like I'm not as good, but if I do, I'm better, but I still don't feel better. Chasing a fairy tale, and that's all companionship is to me. And I'm going to talk about this in a future video, but this idea of romance and falling in love, this is a very relatively new concept in our history. Because before, when man and woman get together, it's you're doing it to keep the bloodline going. Like, I met someone through somebody, or it's like this woman is in the clan, go marry her so you can have kids, and that's really it. That's how it's been for thousands of years. And at some point, civilization gets even more, it tames us even more, and we start creating all these ideas. Now we fall in love. Now there's romance and all this other crap. That for me, it just doesn't. It just seems made up. Like, you have to force yourself to feel this kind of thing. Like I said before, when I am talking to a girl and it does look like it's going somewhere, this excitement I have just doesn't exist anymore. It's really like the chase is better than the catch. Anyways, I'm going to move on to my third reason. And that is, I just think women are boring. I'm not saying they're bad or they suck, but they're just, well, for the most part, boring. It's like they pretty much have all the same hobbies. Like, there's not many women who think vastly different from each other. They all do the same things, think the same way, follow the same trends, no matter if they're part of a certain subculture or not. It's going to be the same experience. It's like maybe one prefers this music over this type of music. Maybe she likes to wear all black instead of whatever the normies wear. But when you talk to either one of them, it's pretty much going to be the same experience. And for me, it's like, what am I going to do with a woman that I can't already do by myself? And this is just in terms of like activities and stuff. Like, there's never been a moment where I did something where I'm like, a woman along coming along with me would make this a lot better. Like, I just enjoy my life as it is. I'm pretty serious about all my interests, like when it comes to guns, weapons, martial arts, working out, metal, reading, history, and I've never seen a girl that was really like, I'm into this stuff too. Let's talk about it. Or if they did, it's like we're not on the same page and it just goes like nowhere. I'm not saying women suck, like I did in my previous point. I'm just saying that they're boring. Like, when I'm not physical with them or they're not like a good support system, it's like, what else is there to do? Now, the last point, which I feel is one of the most important points, is I'd rather just die alone. Like, for me, my solitude is everything. I like being by myself all throughout the day. If I could be completely by myself throughout the day or my whole life and be successful in all my endeavors, I'll take that. Because still, women are people. Any kind of relationship, any kind of relationship you have, there's going to be those ups and downs. But like, if parents, that your parents are going to stick by you with whatever. Same for any family member with your friends. You're usually going to stay cool with your friends because you've probably been cool with them for a long time. But when there's a relationship, those can just split like anything. You can feel real tight, and they can just go completely apart. Because I'm such a closed off, isolated person, I take my relationships with people very seriously. Like, I don't want to build these bonds with someone just for them to fall apart and have people that I just used to know and they know all this stuff about me. I'm not very comfortable with that. So I just rather not deal with it. And women, they come with a lot of stuff. Like no matter how good she is, there's always going to be some bullshit that she comes with. I would just rather not do any bullshit. I don't like drama, anything like that. And for years, like when I imagine how I'm gonna go out, I imagine myself being in some field, living in some type of cabin, and just dying alone with a bunch of papers of my writings all over the place. That's how I imagine myself dying, not being surrounded by family or some wife I've had for years. Like I don't even see that as possible in the slightest. Now, if somebody comes along, I'm not going to be closed off to it. Like if they're good and they're going to add a lot to my life, and of course add a lot to hers, I'm going to take it and I'm going to see where it goes. But I'm not going out in life thinking that I need to find somebody where life can't be complete. Like that's not the way that I can ever think. There's nobody that's going to come between me and my peace, especially somebody that I just met. Personally, I don't see dying alone as a bad thing because to me, it just is what it is. Why would I care what happens to my body afterwards if I'm already dead? I don't know what's going on at all. I'm not going to be able to see somebody. I'm not going to be able to see, like, wow, I'm just laying there lifeless. I'm dead. I don't know. Don't care. I can't care. Yeah, that's the video. Why I'm 22 and pretty much giving up on dating. Dating to me, it's just one of those things that it's just so much bullshit in it and fantasies that people convince themselves of. I just don't want any part of it. Like, I just want to keep my own peace. I don't need some woman to come in my life and try to change and make things better. Like, I'm kind of fine. So, yeah. But if somebody did come along and she wants to be in my life, I want her in my life, I'll let her in. But I don't need it to happen. All right, I'm done talking about this shit.